which should also be. You can see me? You guys can actually see me? And you can hear me? No, you can't. You can't see or hear me in Discord. So let me do this real quick. All right, you can hear me now, and now we're going to show the camera. All right, so you can now hear me and see me? Yes? Audio check, you can hear me and see me? Fantastic. Okay, so you guys probably know we are in the middle of Operation Carpe Phantom. Yes? More or less? Okay, so we did succeed. Yeah, so we did succeed. So we had 4 objectives, right? And we made progress. Okay, like API node, IPO node passed. Passed, satisfactory. During the validation node test, using Deer and Shear, we made a discovery. Do you guys want to know about this discovery? You do. You do want to know about this discovery. Okay? I did leak it a little bit earlier. Okay? Not bad news, but rather, this is called due diligence. Do you guys get what I'm saying? Because it's not just like we're trying to seize Phantom, but we're also acquiring it. Do you guys get what I'm saying here? Yes? I have no idea if you guys know what I mean. Fantastic. All right. So as you guys, so I completed everything on the val, on the val test up to registering, which is really the last step before rebooting, and then you're live. Then you're a live validator. So what that means is I did remove TVL from the DEX to come up with 50,000 Phantom. So I sold some Bitcoin, I sold some Ethereum, I sold some stable coins, and I stole some AVAX and BNB. But don't worry, I didn't sell any project tokens, because why would I sell those when we're going to 100x them all or whatever, right? Make sense? Okay, anyway, so I was able to move all of that money onto a Trezor hardware wallet, which you need to associate with your validator. Because the way it works is, you guys can see this screen, right? You can see the screen? So this right here, you're seeing these lines, new DAG summary, new block, new LLR summary, right? I'll screenshot it for everybody. This right here is like the API node, like working. Does that make sense? Like the API node is live right now, if that makes sense. Make sense? Okay. So anyways, we got the money and we put it onto a wallet, and I even got a validator key. However, thanks to that rumor, we always had to be thorough with each step. So before I staked any money with SFC, do you guys know what SFC is? Here, I'll actually. All right, I will circle it here. So the SFC is a contract, and I will paste it here in this screenshot. This is from the docs for validation. In fact, I'll give you the link for that as well. All right. So first things first, I needed to examine the SFC contract. Makes sense. And by the way, I have a little TXT file I can share. But this is kind of cool. Okay, so the SFC contract address, it's that. And then let me see if I can pull this thing up. Do I have it open right now? All right, so I will pull this up here to the screen share. And do you guys see it now? This is a TXT file. On screen, yes. Fantastic. So first of all, let's look at these two. Can you guys see the text I'm highlighting? Can you guys see that? Can you zoom in on this now? Like, is that a thing you can do? Oh, you can. Yeah, look at that. Okay. Do you guys see these two things on screen? Can anybody read that? Is that readable? Right. So this was immediately a wait a minute moment. Because why? And I'll tell you guys this. Like I've already look at this one. Transfer ownership, by the way. Transfer ownership. That's a bullish sign, by the way. Transfer ownership is a bullish sign. And then also another two other important ones were these ones. Because const address is another smart contract that basically provides parameters for SFC to interpret. I believe this is a governance contract, meaning it's like a policy contract. Does that make sense? So first of all, to everybody who I was talking to before, a lot of governance is off-chain and a lot of governance is centralized. In fact, SFC is owned by a multi-sig controlled by, who do you think? Here, I'm going to link you guys that multi-sig. I'm going to link you, let me see if I can find that. All right, I think it's this one. Yeah, okay, here it is. Right. No. I think it's the Phantom Foundation. It's the Phantom Foundation. Yeah, Sonic Labs. Yeah, this is the multi-sig that owns SFC. And I reckon it's Phantom Foundation, you know, Sonic Labs. Does that make sense? So first of all, you know, there's a lot of people here, and I think a lot of you were planning on running a validation node as soon as I gave you guys the green light to do so. Well, I'm not doing that yet. Okay? Now I'm still going to complete step 8, right? However, here is what we have already concluded. Even if I was able to launch a validator, we would need to actually enter into a conversation negotiation with SL about this. Does that make sense to you guys? Like, so it is like a requirement because we couldn't just take over because SFC controls everything. Like the SFC contract, like I don't know if you guys can see this. Legitimately, validator ID, like get validator ID, get validator pub key, get stash locker rewards. Everything about the fucking consensus process is legitimately delegate, undelegate, is controlled by this one smart contract. This one smart contract is like the deity of the fucking chain. Does that make sense? So this is a bit of centralization concerning the chain. Like, I want you to know. But it's not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing. This does not mean that we will not acquire, okay? Because I'm going to be honest with you guys, right? If you can be bullish on 5 about anything, you know, especially with a track record, it's what? Acquiring, right, acquiring projects. Does that make sense? Like, you might be like, well, 5, we think you're an okay economist, and you seem like you're getting better at marketing and time management. Thank you, Alexi. I know you're joking there. But yeah, clearly at least we have a track record of acquiring projects. Would you guys agree? Yeah, thanks, Alexi. Thanks. I'm aware. I also feel the passage of time the same way. Yeah. Anyways, do you guys get what I'm saying? Felix, I appreciate it. But what I'm saying is, if I have like a proven track record of actually hitting targets, it was acquiring all the projects that became the ingredients of PYRESWAP, right? So 2 ohm, 3 ohm, Z ohm, Frozen Tomb, Snow Tomb, Dibs. Does that make sense? Technically, this was the Piggy Finance Discord, which is also in the Orbit, right? You guys get what I'm saying? Reborn as Hoggy. Yeah, you guys remember that? Okay, so the point being is, so I'm going to now, finish my research. And this is useful because now I'm going to know what Objective 3 entails. Yes, but this now needs to be negotiated. And I want you to know, I scraped all of the emails. Fexer, I scraped all the emails of SL long before I did these node tests. Does that make sense? And I showed you that. And the reason being, Fexer, is that as long as and I'm going to go over the strategy again. First of all, by the way, Fexer, you're not wrong there, but it's about showing them what they need to see to make the decision. Now remember this. Now we are also going to use like organizational how do I describe this? Wedge diplomacy. So we are actually emailing 67 plus people. Okay? Possibly double that number if we assume every email could be both at Phantom, not Foundation, along with at soniclabs.com or whatever. Does that make sense? So like whatever. Anyways, that's not a big deal. But the point being is, understand this. Their community is super sad right now. Agreed? So first of all, we know what their problem is. Right? And Fexer, you're a professional at metatrage, right? So you knew what their problem was way before they built that Phantom to S bridge, correct? Does everyone know what I'm talking about here? Right? Phantom makes it hard for the price of S to go up as long as that bridge is alive. Do you guys know what I'm saying? And you guys should, because this is like one of the main things about this project. I did, yes, Abuelito. I bought it because I couldn't believe it was fucking open. Yeah, I did. Yeah, I did. Oh, I did, yeah. And I don't regret that either way. Yeah, but the point being is, like, it's metatrage. It's metatrage. So it fucking ends up being a fucking ceiling. Right. So therefore, once it's one way, it becomes a metatrage thing, and they can't fucking... They struggle to make Sonic continue to rally. Do you guys get what I'm saying? Because they don't have an IWV for it. Does that make sense? Like, you know, the IWV is required to make metatrage not, like, lock. Does that make sense to you guys? Like, I thought about this a lot. Like, there's no more reason for it to climb. You guys get what I'm saying? The whole vibratility thing is what makes metatrage work. Like, this epoch system. I'm serious. But, like, they didn't think that through. Anyways, I talked about this for months before they deployed it, correct? You guys know what I mean? Anyways. In the meanwhile, I hear a rumor that they are already talking about me in Sonic's Telegram. Tell those people to shut up. Why? Because this is embarrassing to SL. And if they are embarrassed, they are going to be less likely to be amenable to negotiations. Do you guys get what I'm saying? Okay? Tell them it's a baseless rumor. Yeah, and Seabiscuit. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Like, legitimately, like, it's a baseless rumor. Granted, we already do know that they must be internally, people are sad. Like, they know that, you know, why they killed their Discord, or they just paused their chat. Which one was it? Right? One or the other? Not a good look either way, right? Not a good look, right? So the point being is, even if people are waiting for a hero to show up, which is me, we do need to complete the objectives of the research, which is, again, by the way, like now that I've done the API node and at least, you know, most of the validation node, I now know, I do now know a lot more about repositories and governance. In fact, by the way, I don't know if you can see this here. There is also a fucking treasury. Look at this. Do you guys see that right there? Did you guys know there was a treasury? I can show you guys a few different fucking things. Let's see. All right, this is one multi-sig. Okay, let me paste a few debanks here. I don't know which one. I didn't label these when I fucking got them, but they're all related to SFC. There's another thing worthwhile noticing, which I think it's this one. This is another multi-sig. This is another multi-sig, and I believe it's one of the remaining validators. Okay, and I'll link this one as well. And you might be looking at that, and you might be seeing. Do you guys see that that Seal Epoch transaction? Seal Epoch. You guys see that right there? Well, Seal Epoch. Yeah, so Seal Epoch comes from SFC. So let me find that shit again. Where the fuck is it? Seal Epoch, right here. You guys see that right there? Highlighted. Okay. This is a transaction that one of the validators is like doing repeatedly with SFC. Why the fuck does this, like, why does this matter, Five? Yeah. Well, it implies almost that Phantom itself has like has a required transaction to finish an epoch. Interesting. Do you guys know of any other project that has employed such a mechanism? Do you guys know? Totally new concept to me. Okay, well, on PYRESWAP, we have this button that says Transpire Epoch. You ever heard of that one? Has anybody heard of those two words? Rings a bell? Fantastic. Yeah, exactly. So, first of all, this is not like a deal breaker. It's just a very interesting feature I found. And to be honest, you guys, if we're looking at acquiring Phantom Opera, we want to know about all these fucking features. Does that make sense? Like, it's not an infinite amount of things. I think that I should be done researching in about a few days. Like, I think before the end of the week. So around this weekend, yeah. Maybe 3 more days, yeah. Maybe 3 more days of research. But to be honest, SFC was the gold mine of information. Does that make sense? I can't even, I haven't even gone through all of SFC yet. I've gone through maybe like half of it. So I'm literally going through an API node. I'm using an API node here. Why? I actually was confused. Like, I actually was thinking for a while, why do an API node at all when val nodes are the ones that make money? Well, actually, API nodes can do all the cool shit. Yeah, val nodes can barely do anything else. Alexi, I appreciate your sunny and optimistic attitude every day. By the way, yeah, I appreciate your sunniness, Alexi. Again, but I will say this because I know that a few of you were very interested in spinning up a validator node. I'm still going to test it, but I'm very, very glad that I stopped to research SFC before I did because I did not want to. Even if I was able to spin up a validator node yesterday, and then I told everybody, I told Alexi, I told Fexer, I told Abolito, hey guys, totally safe to spin up your own validator node now. Do you know what would have happened? I would have been leading everybody off a fucking cliff because June 30th would have still fucking happened and we would be shit out of luck. Does that make sense? Do you guys get what I'm saying? So, the good news is we're completing the research because I'm going to do this now. Finish research and answer all questions related to the 4 objectives. Right? Like I guess you could say compile my own negotiations before even emailing them. Construct a very, I guess you could say, compelling presentation, both in email, PDF, and video form. Blast it to everyone at SL. Wait. And we expect to get a response within a few days. And if not, we can publish this presentation to the public, which will then make it into their Telegram. Does that make sense? And that will be the moment that we at least make it known that this is happening. Does that make sense? Now, by the way, I guess, Alexi, if we fucking need somebody, I would tell you this. I think that we would probably be more popular with like the junior people who work there because I was mentioning that internally, but like I imagine all the senior people are like feeling quite backstabby right now. And they're also feeling very much like ungrateful, or that people are being ungrateful to them. Does that make sense? But yeah, I don't need to. I don't want anybody from their organization, if that makes sense. Yeah, like there's nobody I want. Yeah, I just like legitimately when we acquired 2Ohm, 3Ohm, and Z-Ohm, or when we acquired Dibs or whatever, there's a list of things we need to get, right? So it's like domain names, repositories, smart contract control. Does that make sense? Fucking brand assets, right? We have this like 9-point list. Everybody's seen it, I think, a few times. So we need to basically have that ahead of time because if I'm going to go to the negotiating table with them, I need to know what my ask is. Does that make sense? So it's an intelligent ask. And first of all, when you try to make a compelling presentation, you need it all needs to be phrased, right? It all needs to be focused and phrased on what is in it for them, right? SB7 framework. You remember we talked about this? Fexer. So believe it or not, even earlier today, we were going over some of the SB7 strategy about how to talk about it to them. Because, again, guys, what's our problem? Our problem is the Phantom Opera will get sunsetted on June 30th. But that's not what their problem is. Does that make sense? That's not a problem to them. Their problem is that their user base doesn't like them. Phantom is making it so that Sonic won't rally. They don't like the whole multi-chain thing, right? Does that make sense? Do you get what I'm saying? Like, that's what their problems are and how they view them. Like, if you think about it like this, if you were to truly empathize with them, the multi-chain thing was probably like a traumatic experience for all of them. It was probably like one of the worst things that has ever happened to them professionally. Do you guys get what I'm saying? Do you guys know what I mean? Like, it was like as bad as Terra Luna, you know what I mean? Like, it was a big fucking deal. And Phantom, I think, was one of the biggest chains on multi-chain. Possibly the biggest chain, right? The one with the most exposure? I don't remember. Thank you, Elito. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, sir. Yeah, gracias. Again, yeah, Abuelito, if I'm good at anything, it's acquiring the fucking project. Does that make sense to you guys? Right? My marketing skills have yet to be put to the test, but I've been able to acquire these things, right? So the point being is that there's a lot of upside, yeah, in us taking over as a hobbyist community for their narrative. Why? Because otherwise their user base will forever remember them as the executive team that killed their baby. Does that make sense? Right? Like, so anyways, the point being is I've already kind of gone over the pencil version of how I'm going to present this to them. Does that make sense? Do you guys know that I have at least blueprinted out a way to repeg multi-chain assets? Do you guys know this? Have you heard this rumor before? Okay, so the point being is, Fexer, I don't know if you've noticed, but they have often talked a lot. Like, I want to say I've seen some of their execs tweet about this, and they've mentioned it in their blogs or in their newsletters. They are trying to mitigate liability, right? Like legal liability. And damn. They're trying to mitigate legal liability, and they're also trying to like get the past behind them, if that makes sense. Do you get what I'm saying? So the point being with that is, I can, if it should suit this situation, even offer that I'm willing to take liability for the multi-chain thing. Does that make sense? Because I could sign a contract and say, okay, that's on me now. That's my problem. Does that make sense? Like, that's something I can do to sweeten the pot. Because, like, as long as I have a couple of years to do it, I can fucking do it. Do you guys get what I'm saying? It'll be way easier after Learn Pyre, believe me. We will not be... Learn Pyre will make it so that we, like, never run out of fucking eyeballs or people. Make sense? What's the difference, though? Well, the difference could be in them saying yes or no. Does that make sense? That's what the difference is. So yeah. Well, Fexer, okay. I don't know if you saw the screenshots, yeah. From their Telegram. But as they discussed, like, sunsetting Phantom, their own moderator was explaining the justification that, like, waiting this long was about shielding themselves from liability. So I think maybe some whales tried to sue them back in 2022, 2023 about it. I have no idea, This is all hypothesis. Right? Maybe it did. But I'll tell you this, Fexer, like, even if you're not at fault, the user base will still blame you. Does that make sense? Do you guys get what I'm saying? And the fact of the matter is that since they did not have, like, they don't have a plan. Oh, yeah, Fexer, for real. Exactly. So maybe somebody did get murdered. I have no idea. So, like, the point being is, they've never had anything even remote to a design that would fix the multi-chain thing, right? Like, I did that just because I wanted to fucking flex my brain, right? And to be honest, it would still take a long time, right? I don't know, actually, because I might be starting, like, by the time Learn Pyre is done, we might have like 1 million fucking people whose eyeballs we have, right? So maybe it won't take very long at all. But like, but you guys get what I'm saying. Like, it's still like, implementing that solution is still better than doing nothing at all, because everything I build is still meant for it to get better over time. Do you guys know what I mean? Like, even here, things have gotten better over time for coins like 2 ohm and 3 ohm and dibs. You guys get what I'm saying? Like, it still gets better over time, even if it's not moving as fast as everybody wants it to. Do you guys get what I'm saying here? The fact of the matter is, if they have nothing implemented to fix multi-chain, then it's not getting better over time. Do you guys know what I mean? Okay, so that's that. Anyways, other things I can negotiate with, I'm not going to get into the fucking details of. But anyways, in a nutshell, that's where we're at. Like, so I worked on this all this week. Literally just consolidating old LPs and like withdrawing from it. On Monday, this took 7 hours. Like this, it was like 7 hours of me moving money around so I could bring it over to Phantom and put 50,000 in a wallet. Yeah, like 7 hours of just like, where's the money? Yeah. Is it Harry Ye? Alessio, I have not heard of this. Is it Harry Ye? And are you sure it's not us that are being fucking... Oh, okay. Are you sure it's not us, but like through the rumor mill? That... Yeah, Alessio, I believe that is a Harry Ye owned Telegram. I saw this on chainlist.org, right? Oh, is it? Okay. Well, I have no problem with that, to be honest, because like, yeah, I have no problem with that, to be honest. Because like, I don't have a problem with like, okay, fair enough. Hey, GB, great information, good information, yeah. I'm going to let me show you guys what I saw, because this is like how these fucking chains work here. Let me so on chainlist.org, shows only like one RPC node for Tomb Chain. Because, by the way, you know, I was thinking like, okay, if we're going to lose Phantom, can we move over to fucking Tomb Chain? But I don't know if it isn't L2. Because if you go and you look at Tomb Chain, it does say this. Okay, it does say L, yeah. It does say like L2 rollup. But then it also says permissioned blockchain. Oh, I've never tried it once, so yeah. Well, Fexture, that could be for a number of reasons. I have no idea why. Well, anyways, okay. I think it's great there's another group trying to do it. I have no problem working together with them. Yeah. Fexer, I've never interacted with that contract once in my life. So, like, I have no idea what to say, because I've never touched Sonic. Now, when I talk to them, I'm going to say that their chain's amazing, right? Like, I have to tell them that their product is great. Right? Like Sonic Chain. But like, yeah, for sure. Yeah, no, I can imagine. Anyways, this is basically the update. So like, everything so far has happened has been good. Like, I will need a few more days to finish research and testing. Then then I itemize the negotiation for acquisition. Then I make a presentation for persuasion. Think like how to tell when to sell, but better, since I know more about what I'm doing. Does that make sense? And much more targeted, yeah. Like HET UNC was before I read SB7. Does that make sense? SB7, I was reading that in January, and I think How to Tell When to Sell was like December 5th or something like that, 2024. Makes sense? So like it was like 6 weeks before I read How to SB7. Anyways, I am pretty bullish on being able to persuade them. Okay. I also have the ability to fucking bomb them all at the same time with email. Does that make sense? If you guys go to that Telegram group, find out who the leader is and let me know. Or tell him to come contact me on Discord. Make sense? But also, yeah. Or maybe there is no leader. Yeah. And it's just like one guy spun up a chat. Anyways, yeah. Honestly, the founder of the group, yeah. Would be good. Anyways, okay. So, I think that we could be in negotiations with Sonic Labs before the middle of the month, before the middle of May. Does that make sense to you guys? And as soon as we are, as soon as those begin, that deadline becomes basically null. The June 30th one. Does that make sense? Because like as soon as they come to the table to hear me out, we're basically gonna win. Does that make sense to you guys? Is that CJ? Yeah, is that CJ? Fantastic. Chopper, I have no idea who that is. Okay. Okay, well, I actually want to have a 1-to-1 with that group's founder. I appreciate that there's a lot of people, you know, putting fire emojis there. Well, Fixer, I don't want to spread the word. Yeah, I just want to have a one-on-one. Does that make sense? Do you guys get what I'm saying? Do you guys get what I'm saying? Oh, I thought there was an actual Save Phantom Telegram group, Alexi. Yeah, okay, fantastic. Okay, there are 2 Telegram groups, guys. One of them is the Sonic one, okay? And the other one's called Save Phantom. But we do not want to embarrass Sonic Labs. I used to know him. Why? I would imagine he would be long gone of Phantom. Oh, was he? Okay. Well, yeah. Okay, let me fucking DM him right now. Okay. I have sent a DM to Fiery Dev. Okay, well, either way, GV, I now DM'd him. But if you guys could find out who the founder of that group is, ask if he has Discord. Does that make sense? Okay. All right, whatever. All right. Do you guys at least get the game plan going forward? I think by next week, I will either be already building the presentation. Does that make sense? Or I will at least be... Okay, I think by next week, which will be... What day is that? The 6th of May. So I think by the 6th of May, I'll be done with research, and I should probably also be done with like the inventory. Does that make sense? Meaning, if we're going to acquire Phantom, and we do have to talk to them, because there is no way we can acquire it without talking to them right now. Because, again, SFC is owned and operated by Multisig, right? So, let me search on this computer for the acquisition checklist, right? Wrong. Oh yeah, me too. But I think it will. I literally saw this like a week ago. I have no idea where it went. Anyways, okay. Not a big deal. Fexer, me neither. But like also... they probably didn't... Yeah, they probably didn't think they'd be depending on us either. Does that make sense? Because they don't even realize, like, hey, I'm going to try to fucking change your future. Because to be honest... If they kill Phantom, it's a shittier future for them too. Does that make sense? Like, what they want is they want to be done with Phantom. And I think that they think that, like, there's a liability thing. But, you get what I'm saying? Anyways, okay. I am now going to stop the stream. Do you guys have any questions? I will continue to post updates, like, in the chat. Kind of, like, just conversationally. When things happen. Make sense to you guys? Thank you. Yeah. By the way, I feel like better about our odds today than I did last week. Does that make sense? Fexer, they definitely do. They definitely do. And to be honest, it's not going to be a fuss. Okay, it is going to be a fuss because it's like there's a bunch of questions that they're going to have. Does that make sense? About their liability and the upside to them. Right? Make sense? Anyways, yeah. All right. Yeah. Hey, we're gonna make it. We're gonna make it. We'll be fine. Okay. And by the way, like, if we don't acquire Phantom, like, we're still gonna make it. Okay. But like, we're gonna acquire Phantom. All right, guys.